Excuse me.
I love having that as the very beginning of an episode, especially because I got another great comment, a reply on Twitter that I reposted where someone called us the R word and said our podcast sucks. And I was like, hell yeah, you listened.
What? Someone
you
listened?
listened to
What a loser.
Inane Blather. This is episode 83 of this dumpster fire of a podcast where we remind you right now it is time.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up this morning!
Okay. Anyway, but no.
The jazziest horn.
Soundboard jokes and unresearched blathering discussions from Antifa supporting morons, all to make you feel more connected to those around you who identify as...
Awesome to the max.
That's not what I meant to press. But they also identify as...
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
Oh, yeah. Right off the bat.
Pooping the bed?
I am, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm just willy-nilly. But, yeah, it's been a nice day. I'm happy to see you. It's weird to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a nice day. I haven't had many nice days this year so far. So far this year of the dragon 2024.
Well, it is early, so maybe you're getting all of them out of the way, which is nice. Get all your bad days out of the way in January. But yeah, I agree. It was a nice day. It was like almost 65 degrees here.
They're not even
today,
bad
so-
enough to be bad days for me. They're just not good.
If they're not great, they're shit, is my attitude.
Oh, no.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All or nothing, you animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm already missing stuff. I'm like, they're not great. They're just...
Not good.
So there we go. Thanks. Thanks,
Nice.
R.M. Brown.
Oh,
We gotta figure out a different way to set up your soundboard stuff or something. You need a big
No,
soundboard.
I'm
I always
getting
think
good
would
at
make
this,
things
I
easier.
think.
that was a really nice
Why
one. Thanks,
can't-
Inane Blather.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow. Why can't we have like in
Shut
the future,
up.
you know how
Stop.
they have like
Okay, no, anyway.
things-
Sorry.
3D where you move it with your hands and it's like huge because it just
Yeah.
displays,
Why
you know,
can't-
like Mission Impossible or whoever, those kinds of
Why
stuff.
can't I be like
big
the
ol'
cool goth girl on NCIS or whatever fucking show that is? It's so adorable.
I just
on
want it to
some-
project up, yeah, up
Stupid.
bigger so I can move it with my
procedural.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like-
Yeah, I wouldn't totally get really angry and tired of that after one day of using it. Like, we're in the future. Why am I
Not for
moving stuff around
everything.
all over the place? You know, it's like I have to like walk over to this side of the screen. What is this? The Middle
Because
Ages? You know.
Yeah, it would help me organize my thoughts better. I feel like if they were bigger, if I could see them better, you know, and if I
okay.
could move them around by hand.
Okay.
I feel like it
Yeah.
wouldn't be for everything, but if I wanted to organize some projects, I'd be like, okay, if I'm just like doing like this rather than, you know, I'm not as much a part of it with just a mouse and a clicker.
That's why, yeah,
wanna-
you use. That's why things like whiteboards or using an entire wall for like management and stuff like that is still in use, no matter what, no matter how handy like a mobile device or a tablet can be and stuff like that. Still, if you've watched Silicon Valley, anyone out there, and they do that. Oh my God! See, now I can't even. I'm such a
Oh, yeah.
a business
That's
poser.
one of the ones I watched.
I can't remember what the method is called, but with moving the sticky notes with your columns, like that's a thing that people do. That's real, like in project management
it's-
and stuff like that.
Being
But-
able to physically do things is really helpful too.
What's it called?
Like the physical
PEDMAS.
act
Yeah.
of
Parentheses, exponents. No. Division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. That's what it's called. The PEDMAS method. No, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
organizing
so.
your thoughts, all of your hose, and just getting him corralled into the proper corners of your mind palace.
Yeah, my thoughts are wild. They need some
Like,
direction.
wow, bro. Wild thoughts. Okay. There's got to be something there with horses too, and like hose or hoses. I don't know. But yeah,
Because
so
they're like,
after this extended intro, I get it. The woke mob has spoken. We're gonna keep the episode shorter. Natalie berated me last week, like laid into me like a cat of nine tails.
listen
on
here, you son of a
fresh
bitch.
slave's back. That's what I felt like. Just vicious.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think I felt worse. Yeah, than someone being beaten into submission for free labor in the antebellum South. But no, yeah, we're gonna keep this efficient,
Tighten it
and
up.
it's mostly. It's not for you
Trim the
listeners. It's just so we have more time to
fat.
hang out and play putt party before and after.
It's true. Because that's kind of what this is about.
Yeah, it's about playing.
It's what it's always been about.
That's what it's always has been. It's that meme with the astronaut holding a gun. I love explaining memes via an audio format. A total
Me too.
speaking medium.
Especially if someone hasn't seen one, then it's like really extra not funny. Because you're
Yeah,
never
like
doing it justice.
an
Not just
astronaut
you,
holding
anyone.
a gun saying always has been, and are talking about the length of your podcast and playing putt party and the New York Times connections puzzle. But oh, and I forgot, I
Classic
mentioned that guy saying how great our podcast was. I forgot I linked to his reply here in my notes. Jesus, I just listened to a few minutes of your podcast. Holy shit, you are R-worded, ... and make a shitty podcast. I just like how it was like kind of doubled. I was like, pick up a thesaurus, bro. Come on. Let's see. But yeah, the woke mob has spoken, and
What
if that's the way
made
the
him
wind
want
blows.
to listen? That's so.
Oh, because we were in an
Crazy.
argument. I was, and hardly even an argument. Just me being shitty to him. It was really funny.
Why?
But,
What is he? What's his deal?
I think that's in the conversation about.
You're like,
I mean,
he's
there's
trans, and you know how I feel about them.
Yeah,
I'm like, what
I was
the
like,
fuck,
he's
Doug?
black and trans, so I was like, well, I can't be nice to you. I'm a white male in America, and I will not let my position among and above you proletarian slobs be taken down a single millimeter, let alone a peg. No, but there's quite a proliferation right now, thanks to the ease in which you can make and the availability
What?
of AI artwork.
Oh, it like totally cut out.
Oh.
But continue. You were like talking, and all I heard was AI
I thought
artwork.
Oh, okay. I thought you disconnected. I was like, great. The woke mob has spoken.
Yeah.
But
I hate this show.
Thanks a lot, Puritans.
But yeah, so there's a proliferation of conservative and reactionary idiots using, I don't know how they do it so much, but often racist and sometimes misogynist AI artwork to make their dumb points, where it's like, oh yeah, your friend group must be like this, and like some AI picture of fat black cheerleaders is one that I saw recently, or like, you guys are like blank, or the world is gonna be like this, or blank, and it's always some AI picture of something racist or some stupid thing, or they create a picture of a blue-haired SJW type, you know. And lately, the response from normal people and leftists is like, it's kind of funny that you have to make this up to make your point. You have to generate this artwork because you don't have an actual thing that you're mad at or an actual thing that you're scared about. It's literally the meme, as we say on here, of the guy just creating all of the scary images on cloth and hanging them up around his room and then lying down in the fetal position being scared, you know, or it's like you're just making things up that you're scared of. And I think this was in a thread about where they're like, if King of the Hill was still going today, this is what it would be like. And it was Bobby serving his dad coffee, but Bobby's in his underwear with a big rainbow, like raccoon butt plug tail coming out or something like that. Where it's just like, it's kind of a funny, it's like, if this was just a shit post from some of the people I follow, like, that's funny because it's like something that a conservative would think, where they're like, yeah. I mean, because there's replies in there like, darn straight, it's like, gosh, what is the world coming to? You know it would be like that. It's like, it's not. Like, you just made this up, and it's not like that. Like, I don't know what you want. Like, it's just really common. That's one of the ones that wasn't, like, just immediately racist. It's anti-LGBTQ, you know, that sort of thing.
It's just
But that's
fucking
par
weird
for
to
the
think
course.
that they would. It's just so strange to think about, like, the connections they're having to make with, like, having like a gay character on television, like what it would what it really means. It's like you just walk around with like your sex toys poking out and stuff, and like you're like,
They're like, yeah, see, this is what you guys are like. It's like, if that was the case, then why don't you post a picture of it? You made this.
No, and
you
it's
made
like,
this and put it on your phone.
It's just like, guys, stop thinking about gay people's sex lives. Oh my God.
Free.
It's like all they think about. Even it's like, you know, Bobby's like a young boy.
Well,
I hope
not
you guys
in this
know
picture.
That.
It's
Well,
about like, it's saying that this is what it'd be like now. He's like 21. He's got like stubble, and his dad's reading the paper with his 6 fingers because it's AI created.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
he literally
all of it,
does.
it's like, like butt plugs, and all they're thinking about is like sex constantly. Like even drag shows. I know we talked about this before. Like, and like the queerness of it. All they're thinking about is sex. Like when it's like, that's not what it's about. Just because people are dressed up like women, for one thing, doesn't mean it's about sex. Like boobs are not always about sex, you know. Like they're just on your body.
Neither
too.
are
It's
dresses.
like part of your figure. Yeah,
You fucking psycho. Some people must have really been like something in the 1990s because of the crazy media circus that was the Bill Clinton impeachment, and what we allowed on the nightly news really fucked some people up or something. Something got you with semen stained dress was burned into your head at 12 years old in 1996 or whatever, whenever it was, 1998, whatever. But I'm not a historian, I'm an economist. But yeah, it's like something, and there's these weird connections, and you just have not gotten over it. Like, so you see a dress, and you think of politicians fucking each other, and you think of butt plugs and that scene from Everything Everywhere All at Once that I was talking about before we started recording. No. They're going to see that Bobby butt plug and they're going to kick him out of the way so they can grab it themselves. Anyway, but, you know,
they're just so weird. Like, why would they? I mean, it's like, you really think that that's like,
no,
what are
not.
you thinking
They're
about?
so
Why are you
thoughtful.
thinking about this?
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. They're really
You're just like imagining all
putting
the
in
ways
the
it could
critical
be.
thinking.
Yeah, and all the ways. I mean, I guess if you really think people are perverted, then you think that that's what it would be like. But it's like never really
projection.
given anyone. Yeah, that's what I think.
Some
it is. and
people are.
not
Some
giving any
people in the
benefit of the
LGBTQ community are perverted degenerates. Sure. And I use that word as a joke because it's like it's a pretty loaded word. Not perverted, but degenerate.
You know what?
But it's like,
my-
yeah, so are some cis-normative,
No matter what,
heterosexual,
wherever you find
white people,
whatever.
like, you know,
Everywhere.
who are perverted degenerates, Baptist youth pastors, okay? Like,
Catholic
I mean, and I
priests.
don't, and even though that's, Catholic priests, and even though that's like true, I don't spend every waking moment thinking about what a priest does to kids, you know? I just think it shouldn't
Fucking trigger
happen,
warning.
you know?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, what? They give them communion
No, I
wafers.
know.
I don't know what you're thinking. See, it's in your head. No, but it's like, hey, meme number 3 is just a common response to these wackos. That's like the SpongeBob, where you're sitting in the middle of the room and every wall is SpongeBob looking down and smiling, but it's always painted with the trans flags, and it's just like, it's all you think. We're in your head, we're surrounding you. That's all you think about. You think about trans people more than trans people do. You know, there was that that's a Twitter
Like,
classic.
you're seeking out news stories about it. You're like clicking on these things. You're like doing that.
yeah.
Like, that's all you're.
And then it's
the conversations you're getting into.
And then the internet does its job, and it runs its course, and now it's all you're talking about, and it's all anyone else is talking about. And then you're on Twitter, and you're in these turf groups and stuff like that, and that's what's being fed to you. And like, and then you think that it's happening more, and it's like, this just doesn't. 1.5% of the population is transgender. Just don't worry about them.
I know. I was just thinking of all these people that like hate
And
trans
just
people.
treat
It's
them
like,
with respect. Like,
Have you-
like you
if
would
you
anyone
ever-
else.
see, I mean, like, I know that trans people are like, they get, you know, like assaulted and all this kind of stuff. But I feel like so many people that talk about trans people have like, don't really know any. Or
Oh,
like
yeah.
obviously don't have any friends that
Sure.
are trans.
I mean, that's
obviously,
my-
because they wouldn't think like that. But
If I'm not just
it's
like trolling, it's like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Someone says something pretty hateful about like someone's kid, you know, that's trans, or there's maybe some story that's going around, and they say something that's like, literally, like, I don't even know you, but I know you would not say that to this person. You just wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that to this mother who's raising their gender non-conforming child or something like that. You just wouldn't, because even you aren't that much of a piece of shit. You're just saying that you would be a piece of shit online because that's how this works in your life now. But you wouldn't, because at the end of the day, even you don't feel that strongly about it. Like, you don't. Like, there are only so many people, and they are psychotic, deranged cultist liars. They're J.K. Rowling or the fucking Nazis marching with Posey Parker. Yeah, I didn't want to say it wrong. Parker Posey is the great actress. Posey Parker is the psycho fascist turf lady, which is not even a turf. She's just a te. You know, she's not a feminist. But,
yeah,
and
just a radical.
just a radical bitch.
Yeah.
But usually
Wait,
it's better
I have
just to be like,
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
because at the end of the day, it's
I-
Twitter. Fuck you, you know, whatever.
I have a new motto.
Smato.
Which is a saying and a motto.
Oh,
It's
a Seato.
yeah. No,
The Volkswagen
no creeps,
Seato. Okay.
no creeps, just perverts is what
Yeah.
I was thinking. I was like, yeah, that's what I want. That's who I want in my life. It's
Right.
like, don't be a fucking creep, but yeah, of course, like perverts welcome because
Sure.
as long as you're not a creep,
You can find-
and there just
yeah.
is a difference.
Because when a pervert can find and connect with a like-minded pervert, you're not a creep. You're just being perverts together. You know?
Yeah, you're
It's
just
called
perverted
kink, you know?
degenerates. Yeah,
It's
no.
just called having
yeah.
a kink or something like that. You know? Yeah, it's just,
just
called
having a good time is what I would say.
yeah, just wallowing in nihilistic degeneracy until you kill
Oh, that was-
yourself. No,
That was my whole weekend. Besides that last part, but yeah, it was.
You're like,
I
I'm
was
dead,
such
by
a-
the way. No.
Yeah, hedonist. Like,
Sure.
is degenerate a not okay word?
I don't like it. It's very fascist coded for sure.
Oh, I just feel like
yeah.
it's like comedic. It seems like a comedic.
Oh yeah, it
what to call
was.
someone,
I've
you
been on the
degenerate?
internet too much that I see someone
Yeah.
use degenerate unironically. It's like, ooh, they're like probably they're on their way to becoming a Nazi, if not already there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's, I guess, not as a joke.
It's a Matt Walsh
But I
type
could
of
see it.
word. So
Yeah, I could see that. I find it to be a fun word, but especially to describe perverts.
you know, it's yeah. I always thought before this last era of culture warriorhood, I don't know, culture war nonsense on the internet, degenerate, my first thought was always gambling. A gambling degenerate. And that's
Yeah.
funny, especially someone who gambles, like to be like, oh my God, I'm just a degenerate, and it's like
I know.
self-deprecating, and it's funny and often kind of true if you gamble a lot or something. But it's really funny.
Yeah.
I always like listening to like sports gambling stuff. I always think it's interesting. Think about who I would bet on. I don't bet very often anymore. So but glad I
don't
didn't
like
put down my
gambling.
bets for I love sports gambling. It's fine. But glad I didn't put
I
down
said
my
if it-
money for Cowboys Dolphins like I wanted to at the beginning of the season. And speaking of Matt Walsh, for all your sports ballers out there,
Excuse me.
that is why the Ravens lost. Matt
'cause Matt
Walsh
Walsh?
tweeted out his prediction, Ravens 38, Chiefs 17, with no context before the game started, and they completely just... That is not what I meant to do. I was trying to
Whoa.
scroll. But
That
instead,
was something.
the Ravens...
You're pooping the bed?
That's all they did the whole game. But no,
I didn't see it, so
what? The Ravens
game.
lost, so it kind of sucks. But they should have smoked them. But they fell behind a little bit. They actually, for all you people having fun listening to sports stuff, interesting fact: the Ravens had never been down by more than 10 points, or been down by 10 points since like November of 2021 or something.
Wow.
They haven't had to come from behind at all, so they went down 10 pretty early and they just fell apart. They didn't know how to come back. It was kind of sucks. So now we've got the Taylor Swift Super Bowl, and for the first time in a long time, I'm going to be right there with Natalie rooting for the 49ers because
hell yeah.
I rooted for the
I
Chiefs
root
to beat
by
them
division.
4 years ago. Another thing, man, the fact is like that Super Bowl felt like it was eons ago, and it's like, oh, you know why? Because it happened right before COVID really spread. It was February of
yeah.
2020. I was like, God, how many Super Bowls ago was that? That's not a rematch. That was forever ago. I was like, oh, that was 4 years ago. Oh,
my God.
2020. Oh.
Like thinking back onto that, it's like this like infinity looking at me,
Yes.
like my memory back to this, like no, like oh shit, it's like
It's like, gosh, yeah, we were
The
down in the
gaping
basement
maw
watching the
of the
Super
cosmos.
Bowl with Dad. That was a fun Super Bowl too. That was a good one. Okay, so I think it's funny. He suddenly sounds a lot less intelligent if instead you refer to him as Bert Einstein instead of Albert Einstein. I was like, oh, Bert. Hey,
Yeah,
Bert
you got
Einstein
some crazy
over here.
ideas. Yeah,
Dude doesn't even know how to comb his hair. Oh, Bert. He's got some weird things going on.
Birdie.
I don't know what I linked to, but I was probably going to discuss this with you off the air. AOC, total milk toast on Meet the Press about Israel. Kind of sucks because it's like, just as a little quote here. Was this? Yeah, it was Meet the Press. Asked AOC if she agrees that, quote, the president has been supporting a genocide in Gaza. AOC says, I think that we're seeing is that young people are appalled at the violence and the indiscriminate loss of life. Yeah, yes, okay. I mean, I have in this note from 2 months ago where it's like, What did I write here? I have to scroll. Wow, such bravery. Harming children is bad. Bombing is bad. Glad we can all come together in unison and hold hands while we agree that killing civilians is, quote, not good. Dang it, I could have lined that up really well.
Yeah.
Glad that we can
Had
hold
your
hands.
chance.
Oh, I dropped the ball. That ball sucked.
What kind of ball were you using?
Let's go to Doug. Doug
too
is the
loud.
guy you go to around here.
For garbage. I can't even. For crap. Yeah,
Oh my
Israel
gosh.
Palestine is not looking good. I get getting a lot of arguments about that. I finally, for the first time in my Twitter life, put something in my screen name. It always kind of bugs me. Everyone's always got their flags, and I'm like, flags? Come on, who cares? Or and then it adds up, and they've got like 6 different flags to show their positions on certain things. I'm like, I don't know what these flags are. At this point, I know what Israel, Palestine, the United States, Canada, and Ukraine. I know what those flags look
Yeah,
like.
and the Ukraine.
some of them that I would know, it's small. It's in emoji size. I can't tell if that's Mexico or what that is. I don't know.
Yeah. And you're colorblind.
But I
so
finally
makes
put,
it
I was
extra
like,
hard.
I'm done. Like, just so people know before they even interact. Yes, I support Hamas. Whatever you want to say, I don't give a shit. I didn't do the flag. I did the little arrow because fuck the IDF. And those videos are pretty cool. Sorry, I gotta say it. I don't care if you consider them terrorists. Watching those resistance fighters blowing up Israeli tanks on GoPro cameras is pretty legit. It is scary.
Yeah, I bet.
It's terrifying. Oh, geez, this is from a while ago. See? I wrote, the entire problem, this must be talking about a 2-state solution. The entire problem with that is that the international community seems to be working backwards from a, quote, solution that is a theocratic ethno-state. That's not a good solution, no matter what. Like, I don't get it. Like, I mean, I kind of get it, but it's like, I don't know. Like, on one hand, anti-Semitism and the persecution of Jewish people is like the oldest persecution in the book.
For sure.
Sorry,
Literally.
but it's
yeah,
it's a
book.
problem, and but also part of the problem here with even before the Holocaust, but then after the Holocaust, being like, oh, we really need the Jewish people to have their own place, you know? I mean, it sounds right, but it's also like, what were you doing all that time leading up to this? You didn't want them in your states, in Europe. The U.S. turned them away. Like, when they're literal refugees, when the Holocaust was starting, because people didn't want them. You were being anti-Semitic. Like, it was a systemic problem. Like, just xenophobic, racist, like, anti-immigrant thing that applied to Jews instead of whatever the flavor would have been at the time. If it was 20 years before that, it was Irish people or Mexicans or whatever it might be. But it was the Jewish people. And now it's like trying to make up for these past wrongs in the worst way. Instead of just, I mean, there's never going to be an admission that it's kind of our fault in terms of the, like, Western hegemony, like the Western international community that they didn't feel like they had a place to go in the first place. Like, there's, and it's just so weird. It's like, I'm pretty sure there are more Jewish people in New York City than there are in Israel, right? Something like that. Like, and it's like, I don't know. The problem is, like, we're supposed to be moving forward. We're not supposed to be stepping back and trying to make up for lost issues that we have lost, you know? I mean, and if that's what you want to do, why aren't there real ethno-states, as they would be, for Native American peoples, you know, or something like that? Like, if you want to go back and right these wrongs with that sort of regressive, reactionary behavior and just create puppet states to fit in to the way that we are running things, just like they do with Israel, I don't know. It's like, it just makes it so obvious that they get to play on the understandable emotional appeal that all this has because of how horrible, prevalent, long-standing anti-Semitism is, on top of the Holocaust. Like, but that you get to use that to just do what you think is best for the colonial state in the first place. It's like, there's a reason that it's totally fine that Britain had this land in the first place, Great Israel, and that we decided to go with that in the Middle East. Oh, it's pretty convenient, huh? Yeah, pretty convenient. Mm-hmm. Like, and to just that the fact that undergirding all of these decisions and all of these bad faith reasonings that they paste together to justify the creation of Israel and the expulsion of people living there and the constant ongoing ethnic cleansings that's been happening, undergirding all that is the fact that it's like, well, come on. Like, they need a place. Oh, you just want a theocratic ethno-state. That's what you want? But yeah, and I said, Israel needs to be a democratic, constitutional republic. Call it Israeli-Palestine or Palestinian-Israel. Call it the land of Canaan, what it was 3,000 years ago. I don't care. But it's like, if you were really approaching this in good faith as benevolent superpowers trying to do what is right by the people who are living in this region, that's what you would be doing. Like, even while still keeping control over the region, it'd be like, no, this is a secular, multi-ethnic state that's here. The people who are living there, look at that. They still live here, and they can all live here because that's what they were doing before they were completely colonized, you know? Anyway, okay.
I just feel like it feels like it makes it seem like racism or xenophobia can't be overcome if Israel needs its own state. It's like that they cannot exist peacefully. The world cannot exist peacefully with Jews, which is kind of like they need this place as their own land and all that. And it's like, I do understand. I believe in reparations and all this kind of stuff in a way that, like you're saying, like moves forward because, hey, maybe we can put all that reparation money into a time machine and we can just go back and start all over or something, because I don't really know, how far back we could go and like do that kind of stuff. It's really hard to say, but like how to move
that's
forward.
Part of the problem.
Making
move
things
forward
like
from here.
States like that. Yeah. Like making it like just like Israel, like that's where the Jews only Jews get to live there. It feels really like racism wins.
Yeah.
Like we do need to be separated because there is something different. They are, by their own kind of standards of wanting this, like different than us or something. And
You're
I feel like it doesn't
xenophobia.
It doesn't feel good
from the ground up. Yeah. You're creating it like purposefully.
And like, when has it ever been the hero of the story is the country or the castle or the person or whatever that totally closes themselves off to everything else and only has their point of view and only their culture? Are there cool cultures and stuff like that? For sure. But and ones that have been out there and all that kind of stuff that maybe weren't out looking for more, but weren't purposefully isolating themselves. Like North Korea, that's kind of the example that I think of. Not a great example, you know, as far as ones for like idealistic kind of purposefully
That's Joe
cutting
Biden's
off
new
any
message.
other perspective. It's like, it's one thing to be like out here having your own thing, and if people come along, it's like do no harm and learn from them or whatever and hold on to your beliefs. But to already say it's like, nope, this section is only for these people, it just seems like, honestly, like you don't feel very strongly with your beliefs, because you gotta like build up all of these things to make sure no other influence comes in. But it just seems like, yeah, like really weirdly, deeply racist to like, I mean, to just feel like you're more deserving than other people to live here.
Yeah, that's why, like, in broad strokes, that's one of the reasons to me that it seems like Zionism feels anti-Semitic from the outset. It's like, because you're boiling down Judaism, or you're boiling down, like, these people into Jews. That's what they are.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're people. Just, I mean, I don't know. It's like, we're not going out trying to create a Catholic ethno-state, you know? Maybe you could, a Catholic theocracy somewhere. I mean, maybe you could say Italy is that, or Vatican City is that. But it's like,
I don't think that it's like, but it doesn't really even seem, honestly, like Israel-Palestine, it doesn't seem like it's about religion. It doesn't seem like it's about Jews and Palestinians or Muslims or whatever. It seems like it's about a corrupt government. Like, and Netanyahu is just like any other fucking politician, honestly. He's just a really, that kind of leader with a huge military, and he wants his power, and it has nothing to do, I don't think that he really, I don't know what he thinks about Palestinians or whatever, or like Jews or whatever. It's about power. He's in power.
Colonialism.
It's like
yeah.
Putin. He's like that. It's like, it's not because he's Jewish. It's not because he's Russian. Look at Americans. It is because we're Americans that we're like this. But
yeah,
you know, I mean, like,
well, and it's because
like
of America
that
Israel's
hungry
like that.
People. Yeah.
Like, because it's like a halfway a puppet state of the United States that happens to like use these religious arguments.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
All these under the guise of stopping anti-Semitism to somehow like be a puppet state in the Middle East that has what, the third most powerful military in the world or something like that. Like, that's insane.
After the United States and the United States police force?
No, yeah. No, but it's up there, right? I don't know what the numbers are, but it's crazy because of the United States. I don't know.
What I was
thinking, that's probably
was,
Joe Biden's plan, though. He's like, we need a North Korea for the Jews.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we want. Man, you don't make any sense anymore. He's like, no.
Jewry.
I was listening to this podcast, Inane Blather. They were making some good points. You know
Yikes,
the
senile.
thing. Yeah, I wish I had WhatsApp on here so I could play that clip. I mean, people have probably heard it by now.
I sent that to Humby and they really laughed. But I was gonna say, that's what I was thinking was, when was the last time that the United States was on like the right side of a war?
This time, right here.
Like,
beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer. It is refined. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes.
That is my president.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Have you seen? Speaking of, and now Israel has a lot to do with this, but it's not the only thing. But it's like he had an opportunity to, I mean, cynically, to shake things up, to use like huge world events, like at least to, I don't know, rhetorically change focus on what his administration is doing and all this and that. And he's completely fucked it because of his bloodthirsty love for Israel and Zionism, not for Israelis and not for Jews, but for Israel. Mm-hmm. And like, and have you seen 18 to 29-year-olds? His approval rating is like 27%, and it's like 71% disapprove. Like,
He's like, come on, Jack. I know the youth. Yeah.
how did you like?
That's malarkey.
You came into office as vice president under Obama. Like, you guys killed it with the youth vote. Like, Jesus Christ,
we thought you
Jack.
were cool, honestly.
Yeah, it was
Joe, you
fun.
seem like
I
a
love
cool
the Onion
grandpa
articles
with
about
the
him washing his
Trans
Trans Am and stuff like that. I was like,
You know what?
you just need to get back to that. But, oh man, I forgot
Now you're,
last
like, in
week you nailed
charge.
one of those. You know what.
Thanks.
But
Oh, yeah.
Joe
Oh,
Biden
yeah.
just needs to go out there and just be like,
I love Karl Marx.
boom, 18 to 29-year-olds, 51% approval
Love
rating.
you. Yeah.
It's
And who would you even lose? We'd still vote for you. Everyone that was going to vote for you already would
right-wing
vote for you, and
liberals.
more people would.
It's constant. They hate the left and leftists, and it's like we talk about how we've
Right-wing
been. It's like,
liberals.
gosh, so the Democrats suck because they keep kowtowing and giving into this wild idea of trying to appeal to moderate Republicans, and it's like it's not going to work. It never will. But everything's shifting so far to the right with that goddamn party that they have to do the same thing to appeal to Democrats. Like, because there's so many so-called moderate Democrats are just right-wingers. Like, it's crazy.
How can you be a moderate? Oh, God.
It's called not, like, really thinking about...
Thinking about anything?
See, this is what will get people to vote right here.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. You think you just fell out of a coconut
Anyway,
tree?
sorry.
Is that Kamala?
Yo, yeah, that's Kamala Harris.
Oh,
so
boy.
that's what the Democrats are running. They don't have any idea of what else to do, even though I don't know. I'd get in these arguments with liberals and be like, well, who else? What should they have done? Who should be primarying? It's like, I don't know. The fact that kooky Marianne Williamson is pulling 10% in some states in the primaries just because people don't like Joe Biden really says something. If you actually had a guy and he had stepped down and be like, I'm old as fuck. We need, things are, we're in a precarious position as the United States. We don't want to lose our democracy, whatever bullshit you want to say, and pick anyone. Like,
Yeah,
liberal
why is
ass
it up to
Gavin
us?
Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, or something like that. Like, I don't know.
I swear to
Like,
God, like, why would it be up to us to pick someone? You motherfuckers have someone in every single fucking state. Maybe you guys know who these, like, young upstarts are. Maybe there's someone in the Senate. Maybe
If
there's
they
someone in the
wanna-
House. Maybe there's, like, a governor.
if they wanna
you
support
guys
someone.
actually...
But we could pick
Yeah.
them if they would actually do primaries. Like, they didn't.
Well,
the DN,
I mean-
or not the DNC, but just the Democratic Party. Just didn't want to do
Well,
anything
yeah,
about
it's like
it.
that's kind of your
So-
guys's... Maybe it could be, like, kind of your guys's job since it is what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Like, to help the American people. Maybe, like, you could do that by, like, helping, because we actually have jobs. Like, we have
Yeah.
to go to work
No.
and, like, do stuff like that. And what you guys actually do is, like, what
You're
what we're
supposed to
asking you
like
do.
do
Yeah.
things that will. Yeah, that was one of my my first forays into arguing with some Biden bro was talking about how bad they are with controlling any sort of media narrative and how they're always on their back feet and how stuff like that. It was the student debt thing is what started it off. It's like they're not getting this out there to the right people. They're not doing a good job. No one thinks about these accomplishments that Joe Biden's talking about because all you hear is him talking about the Great Lakes, But it's like what are they supposed to do? How exactly are you supposed to do that and try to start a media narrative? I'm like, I am not one of the people. I am not a consultant that the Democratic Party is paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that is supposed to
Yeah, have you
know
seen
that.
Veep?
That's supposed to have an answer to that. There are people, they're spending your money when they're emailing you constantly. I got a letter in the mail from Joe Biden the other day. Like, what the fuck is this? But it's like, when they're asking you for all this money, they're spending. Just imagine being that guy. After, I mean, who knows? Something can happen. Joe Biden can still win. But it's like, in this position that they're in right now, imagine being the guy that's being paid $180,000 a year to be a political consultant for campaigning for the Democrats and stuff like that. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you one of these people that's this bad at it, or are they not listening to you? Like,
I feel like
Nancy
it would be
Pelosi,
so easy.
oh man, and her Israel
Like,
thing.
Joe
Jesus
Biden
Christ.
is the president of the fucking United States. Shouldn't he be able to like ring up any old marketing place and be like, hey, you want to do some marketing for me? I'm like the most powerful person in the world. And they'd be like, fuck yeah, I can't believe the president of the United States is like wanting some help with some marketing,
Yeah, people-
or like a conversation or whatever. Like, you can have like literally every single expert pretty much at your disposal to make sure like things are getting out there. It's like, you should have this great team. That's how you get things out there, because you're supposed to be surrounded by competent fucking people
Yeah.
who know how to do this kind of stuff.
At least in terms
So-
of like all this campaigning and electoralism, like people do that, you know? I mean, it's like, where's our Karl Rove, you know? Where's our
Yeah.
Dick Cheney even? Like, imagine how much Kamala Harris is in the position that Dick
Let me start
Cheney
here.
had when I was young, okay? Just think about that, okay?
Yikes.
And
That's-
he
I'd rather
used it
not.
for evil, and he was successful. Like, what the fuck,
He was
man?
very successful.
Like,
yeah.
Kamala Harris is just some washed up cop that is like an alien in human skin pretending that she knows what laughter is. You know, it's like, it doesn't. She's uncanny at this point. I don't know what happened to her.
I feel like she
was
wasn't like
America's
that when she was-
stepmom. You know, she was cool. She was kind of fun, and when
I liked
it was
her.
cringe,
Yeah, like, she
it
was
was
like-
cringe in a fun way. Like when she's talking about Tupac on the
Yeah.
Breakfast Club or something. It's like, oh my
She's
god,
like-
okay,
Try hard, but like, you know,
Yeah.
she seemed like cared
she's washed.
or whatever.
Like,
She was just
and Joe
a
Biden
person.
is
Yeah.
literally senile. Like, come on, people. Whatever they're giving to that
Oh.
guy to get him out and about, I want some of that. I want to know what that is. That's not just Adderall. Because I think Adderall is great, but it could not get me
cocaine.
as an 80. Cocaine will not get you to. Imagine Joe Biden just doing a fat rail, you'd immediately die. Just heart exploded, like literally, just a hole opens in his chest.
Yeah. He's
like
on some
this.
like caffeine
Some weird,
mixture.
He's just
of-
walking around on DMT the
uppers.
whole time, so his
Yeah.
body doesn't even know that it's supposed to be dying. Like,
Poor Joe. Why couldn't he have, you know, it would have been really nice if he would have just not ran for president
Yeah.
the first time. And
or if he, I swear, still to this day, and someone else brought it up too. I don't know if it was on Chapo or something. So I was like, it wasn't some Mandela effect. There was word in 2020 that his intent was to be a one-term president. Was it not? I remember hearing that. That was going out from his camp. But I guess he never said it himself. But it's like,
I just
I
don't
was
know why
excited for that, where it's like, all right, yeah, get straightforward Democrat who can win, beat Trump's ass, Trump sucks, big time, and then let's
move
move on
forward.
from there. We'll get out of the pandemic. We'll have a fresh young crop of Democrats, or maybe Kamala Harris, or whatever it might be. No, all in the shitter, in the toilet.
She turned into a mutant.
Yeah, exactly. She
And
turned into like the guy from Mars Attacks, just with a cowboy hat on top of their spacesuit helmet. But it's like, and now that it's all in the shitter,
People have to flush their toilet 15 times.
just to get the taste
Nice.
out of their mouth. Okay, let's get
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
And
I
end of the day,
just-
These people are sick.
and they're running our country.
And I just want to tell Joe Biden, because I know he's listening, how disappointed I am in him that
Yeah.
he's running again. And like how I feel like we, the American people, deserve more. And you know what? His family deserves to spend the last however many seconds he has left of his life, like with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's like so
Imagine
old. He should be
how much
home.
that could help Hunter Biden, just as one individual person, to have to come in,
Yeah, he's
spend
under
time with his
criminal investigation.
father, and like help his dad instead of just receiving a check every month so he can pay his dad's Spectrum bill or whatever to show that he has a job. Like, to help his father, like his mother and his brother died. Like, his dad is like falling off of bicycles and slurring his words, and he's 81
His
years
dog's
old.
biting people.
Yeah, he's got rabid German shepherds running loose down Pennsylvania Avenue.
I know. I
and
wonder
he's-
what his family's saying.
And it's like, oh, and on top of that, yeah, he's also circumventing Congress twice to send billions of dollars of weapons to Israel. But, you know, this poor old guy, he's confused.
yeah, he is an old. He is
That crazy old coot. He thought he was sending it to his friend named Israel. He used to work at the swimming pool with him. Yeah, that's right. I got you, Jack.
Here's $50
You
million.
said you need 50 million Corvettes, huh? That's right. That's going to be quite a show. Want to go see it? That's how he talks.
That sounds kind of like Obama at one point. So I'm
yeah,
not
that's
really
how good
sure.
I am at doing Biden. I'm really good at impressions and improv.
Biden's a really tough
Oh
one,
yeah,
I feel like.
listening to
Unless you have some
you
sunglasses.
just go to the 2020 episodes of Come Town, and Nick Mullen just beats himself up over and over again trying to get a Biden impression. He'll be like, God, I can't get it. It sucks. And he had like
Trying to Biden.
one word, and he was like, no, I got this. I recorded this last night, and he played a little recording from his phone, and it sounded like Joe Biden, but he could only do one word. Like, victory. Like the way that he said it, they're like, wait, that was you? I thought that was Joe Biden. He's like, I know, I had it, and now it's gone. But
Yeah.
he's you just have to remember he's a dipshit guy, senator from Delaware. What's Delaware?
Delaware.
It's just a corporate tax haven. It's not a place with culture.
It's Delaware.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's only the first state created in our wonderful union.
Yeah, or like that portrait of George Washington crossing to Delaware.
It's like, yeah, this
like,
is where
yeah.
credit card companies live.
Just like our founding fathers would have wanted.
Our founding fathers
Dun, 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 dun.
would have loved seeing the ending of Fight Club because of Delaware, where they blow up all those
Yeah.
buildings. Okay. All right, we're cutting it shorter. We're getting there. I love you. Shout out to Aaron Brown, our Lord
Love
and
you.
Savior.
That
Amen.
went slightly
And Zach?
better than the worst it could have possibly gone.
Yeah, shout out to Zach
Ryan,
and
my honey,
Ryan
Humby.
and Humby and
Kelsey,
and Emily and Wendy
Vanita, some other
and
people.
Discontent Provider. And remember,
Annabella.
no matter how many children are being immolated at the hands of an occupying force, at the end of the day,
This is politics.
it's okay. All right. I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.